right, it is Tuesday, May 24th, 2022. Put the timestamp on it. I think, I was thinking to myself, why do I always say the date? And I thought, well, I probably say the date because it's important to make sure that we've got a historical record. You don't say the date, somebody can say, oh, steal your, not that they'd steal mine. They do it to Cliff High a lot. They steal the content and then they repackage it and act like it's on their channel and like they've interviewed Cliff High or something so they can get views. But I think it's important to maybe timestamp it. Time's kind of relative, but that way you kind of know. What makes me think of this kind of goes along with it. First of all, Satoshi Shawn, he talks about the blockchain being able to archive history because you can timestamp it and it's saved and it can't get washed away and scrubbed like a 1984 novel where they just completely disappear information off the internet. It doesn't show up in Google searches. It doesn't show up in, whatever web browser you're using. It's filtered. And you lose history because it's all digital, because we don't have the books anymore. And you don't go to the library to look through newspapers because they've all been digitized. Well, how easy is it to start scrubbing that stuff because it's sitting on servers? And I mean, unless it's time-stamped somehow and tied to a blockchain, how do you know? Something could have been changed. Then they can just say, well, updated or not updated. And they can do whatever they want because it's digital. And that's the dangerous thing about the digital world. So this got me thinking, just by saying the date at the beginning of this video, I got to thinking about all this stuff. So, and then just yesterday I saw somebody who posted, I don't know if it was on TikTok or something, and it was a lady who was talking about Publishers Clearinghouse and how she was freaked out because she remembers, Publishers Clearinghouse, the brown envelopes, they show up to your house. We used to get so many of those, and you could win $1 million, and get these magazines, increase your chances. No purchase necessary, though. And Ed McMahon would show up to your house. That was the big commercial they had. Ed McMahon, come to your house with a big giant check with your name on it. $1 million. Win $1 million from Publishers Clearinghouse. And she was freaking out because she's like, I can't find a reference to this anywhere. I can't see that, where it ever says Ed McMahon has been, associated with Publishers Clearinghouse. It's like it's been scrubbed from the internet. Now, I haven't gone to look, but I do clearly remember Ed McMahon being the Publishers Clearinghouse spokesman. Ed McMahon, the guy that used to be on Johnny Carson. Here's Johnny! And, big, Publishers Clearinghouse. I'm pretty sure I didn't imagine that and I didn't dream that. I think most of you, or some of you out there, believe it in the comments. I mean, do you remember that? Publishers Clearinghouse, Ed McMahon, the big check. You win $1 million. I remember it. She remembers it. She says she can't find any reference to it on the internet. Nothing. Direct reference. But she did show, like an episode of The Golden Girls where Betty White answered the phone and said, it's Publishers Clearinghouse. Ed McMahon's going to show up with $1 million. Kind of a joke. So she's referencing it in a show. So by her referencing it, that does show that, okay, it did exist. Now, I'm just curious, because I haven't done the search, if that's all been scrubbed. There's no reference to Ed McMahon, any of that stuff. That would be very interesting, because that goes into what, she brought up, and, I've seen before, the Mandela effect. And what that is, it refers to Nelson Mandela. He was in prison in South Africa, and people remember him dying. And then all of a sudden he's not dead and he's released from prison. And they're like, wait a minute, didn't he die? And you see it with certain actors. It's like, isn't that guy dead? Like, no, he's not dead. And it's just this, okay. I remember this happening. Berenstain Bears, spelled differently. Oh, don't jump out here, rabbit. Okay. Save the day. Cottontail made it. So you remember, some people remember it being spelled one way, but now it's spelled another way. And it's this idea, this Mandela effect, to where we remember this guy dying, but he's not dead. So we have this collective consciousness, this memory of these things happening, and then all of a sudden we're like, wait a minute. We go to look it up, and it's like, well, that didn't happen. Very strange. And, the theory is maybe time is shifting, maybe timelines are changing, and it gets fixed in the past because of something that happens now. Maybe there's time travel going on, and we remember experiencing something, but now our history has been changed because somebody went back and assassinated Hitler, and so everything changes now. It's a topic that, I mean, we've seen it a lot, and if it's just me, just you, and you remember something, it's like, man, I remember that happening. And then, everybody else says, no, that never happened. Okay, that's one thing. But when you've got a good majority, a good segment of people that say, yeah, I remember that, and then it's no longer there, there's no reference to it, it makes you wonder. It's like, what the heck is going on? Very strange indeed. So this is just another thing. So Ed McMahon, if you remember Ed McMahon bringing the Publishers Clearinghouse checks to the door, in the commercials, and win $1 million, put it in the comments that you do remember it, and then I'd be curious. I'm going to go search it. Go search it and see if you can find a reference to it. See if you can find video, anything that mentions that he used to do that. I'd be curious, because she's making the argument that no, there's no evidence. It's like it never happened. Kind of mind-blowing if that's the case. You'd think you'd find a YouTube video or something, But if you can't, man, I'd start getting suspicious, because I clearly remember it. And there's other things that I don't remember right now that I'm like, hey, wait a minute, I remember that. And then they say, no, it's not the way it used to be. What was it, like the movie, or some movie with Sinbad in it, like Aladdin or some, I don't know, it was a genie or something. Look at this. Make it nonstop. Meet your Illinois Democrat team, and it's got a Republican that's running, because they're bashing them. Oh, you're too Democrat. You're not a Republican, a true conservative. It's election season, folks. Which brings me to another issue. I've got all these people running for governor that pays, I don't know, like $175,000 a year in Illinois, I think. Another rabbit. I tell you what. Be careful here. I'm going to take out a rabbit and feel bad. So you've got all these people running for governor in Illinois. I mean, constantly ads on TV, non-stop. That's all there is. And then I see all those mailings. Every day I get these mailings, these color, semi-cardboard things. I mean, there's a lot of money being spent to become governor that makes $175,000 a year. Now, that's a nice salary. But you're spending millions of dollars to get a salary that pays $175,000. Are you that much of a humanitarian or an altruist, the philanthropist, the person who wants to help other people, that you're willing to spend millions of dollars and raise millions of dollars because you can do good? And the money. And they know they're going to go in there and make a lot of money. They're going to leave, and they could be on this board of directors, that and just another Hunter Biden deal, to where it's, I mean, you get these opportunities just because you were in a position. Now this truck looks a little familiar. Let's see what we got here. Bingo. Yep, there's my father. Wonder what he's up to. So, running for a position that pays a lot less money than you're spending to get it. It's like, do you ever go to a job, it's like, hey, we're paying $15 an hour. It's like, oh man, you know what? Let me give you $100, just to hire me, or, it's just like crazy. Or, pay a whole salary. We pay $15 an hour. Well, let me pay you $20 an hour. Let me work this job. Because, I have so much power, It's just, it's so obvious, I guess, that all this money they're spending, it's just to gain power and control. And you look at what happened in the last pandemic, and now we're talking about monkey sores and how it's going to, scare everybody. That's what my wife said, the news is on, and she's like, man, it's just like all they want to do is just scare everybody. It's like, bingo, that's exactly what they want to do. They want to scare everybody because you make bad decisions when you're fearful. And that's what they want. They want you to be afraid. And if you are afraid, then you're going to kind of go along with stupid things that they present to you as the path of least resistance. So again, they're just pumping this pandemic stuff. Anyway, I was going back to, that's the next big thing, monkeypox. But I was going back to being governor. The governor of Illinois during this whole pandemic thing shuts everything down. You know, schools, everybody's remote learning, you know, which screws everybody up. You know, some of these people, these poor kids, you know, they can't function because they need to be socialized and, you know, socialized, and that double meaning there. But they need to have socialization, and, you know, they're at home, they're getting depressed, they're eating more, they're getting fatter, and no exercise. And it's just, then you got everybody masking up. Hey, you need to wear a mask everywhere you go because, you know, it's so productive. It does so much good. It stops so many bad things. And especially the mask that you wear over and over and over again. Sneeze into it, breathing all the germs onto it, touching it, adjusting it all the time. I mean, do you really think this is doing any good? No, it's not. Just wash your hands. Just wash your hands. That's going to do a lot more than the damn mask. Sorry. It's a children's show, right? Darn mask. So you had a governor in charge that made all these decisions and made life hell for everybody. So elections do matter. And that's why they're spending all this money, so that they can have control of the population. They can tell people what to do, and they can grease their buddies. You know, hey, here's this sweetheart deal over here. You know, let me get you hired into this position, all this. I mean, there's a lot of power that goes with it. So they're willing to spend millions of dollars for a job that pays $175,000 a year for 4 years. Not going to get your million back, but you're going to get a lot of goodies. You're going to get a lot of benefits to a lot of people. You know, but it is what it is, and that's kind of where we're at. Crypto markets. I was looking at the crypto market earlier, and you know, I'll just take a look at it right now. Litecoin sitting around $70, Bitcoin $29,000. I mean, it's just kind of going sideways, and there's that question of, okay, are we going to go down? I mean, are we going to have this massive dip? And I think if we have a massive, you know, correction, I don't know if I say it's a correction, a massive dip at this point, it'll be very quick, and it'll be because of some event that's planned. I mean, there's talk of an institution going down, you know, in the next week, you know, some big entity that's going to cause a problem. Very possible. I mean, when you rig the markets this long and you hold gold and silver down this long, it's like in crypto this long, you try to manipulate these things and keep the dollar as strong, you know, try to keep the dollar strong. But I mean, how can you say the dollar's strong when you can't even produce baby formula in this country? You got to send the military cargo planes over to Germany and other countries to fly in baby formula. I mean, how freaking crazy is that? We can't even produce our own here in the United States. In the United States. Should be these United States. But it's just, and then all of the things we need, they're all outsourced. You know, I was having this conversation with my father yesterday. It's like, what are you going to do? These people who are on medication, what are they going to do when they can't get their medication and there's a shortage of this or that? You know, insulin, heart medicine, blood pressure medicine, whatever. What are they going to do? What do you do when you're dependent on something and you can't get it? And then most of it's outsourced already to China. And now we've got Biden over there poking the beast saying, you know, oh, don't mess with Taiwan. You know, we'll use forces to stop you. It's just like almost wanting the war. Hey, we want to get something started in Ukraine. Hey, we need to get something started in Taiwan. That way we can fight both Russia and China at the same time. That'll be fun. It's doing everything possible to destroy America, to weaken America, to get us involved in things we shouldn't be involved in. What we should be involved in is producing our own goods, making sure we have enough baby formula, making sure that we have enough fuel so we're not importing it from, you know, nefarious characters around the world. I think there's a lot of oil in Alaska. There's a lot of oil all over the place, and it's just, you know, it's off limits. You can't do it. There's oil in Canada. Can't get it here. Nope, we're not going to have the pipeline. Nope, we're going to shut it down. Shut it down. You know, it's not even oil it's in America, in this country. It's like, you know, hey, they want to, sorry, I mowed yesterday. Oh, man, it's the first time that it really got to me. Eyes are all itchy and scratchy. The Itchy and Scratchy Show. Anybody remember that? Put that in the comments. Or is that another Mandela effect that never happened? So, yeah, my eyes. But we should be producing everything here. Why aren't we importing food? I mean, why would we import food? There's no reason for it unless it's something really exotic, you know, that we can't have here. But, I mean, We got plenty of food here. And, you know, just because you can't have, you know, caviar from some North Sea, I mean, big deal. You know, it is what it is. Or Kobe beef from Japan, you know, it gets helicoptered in, or, you know, I guess it wouldn't be, or air flighted in. The things that we need, we can produce. That's what it comes down to. We've got plenty of resources here. We've got so much open land. We've got so much stuff in the ground. We've got everything we need. And we just got to make it work. But no, instead, hey, you know, we're not going to use those resources. Therefore, you know, we're not going to have those jobs that create those resources. We're just going to get it from somewhere else, and, you know, all the baggage that goes with it. Okay, makes a lot of sense. Makes a whole lot of sense. So you can think whatever you want about Trump, but with him, at least the messaging was, you know, the Make America Great. It's bring industry home. Did that happen during his administration? You know, it's debatable. But the idea, the message, I think is good. We should be producing things at home. And it's absurd to think that, you know, we can't do anything. Oh, well, you know, we're at the mercy. That's why the prices are up. That's what we, you know, it's just the way it is. It's ridiculous. That's not the way it is. Where's the American independent spirit that says, no, we can make this work? No, we can do this. It's probably still there. It's just that businesses are hamstrung by government. It's just like during the pandemic, you know, you shut the businesses down, the local businesses that are, you know, actually doing something. And you've just, the whole thing's engineered is really what it comes down to. It's all planned. It's all engineered, all of this. And they're doing it by design. I mean, it's just a takedown of America. That's all this is. And let's get it out there. It's all it is. Once you realize that, you say, I need to make moves. I need to figure out something different. And I need to get some stuff in my own possession. I need real stuff. I need real things. You know, I may need a freaking shovel so I can dig a hole. You know, for everybody else that's going to starve to death. You know, that may be my new job. You know, I'll be an undertaker. You know, I'll be out there digging holes. I mean, you need real things. You need to have water. You need to have food. You need to be able to grow your own food. You need to have money that works when the government money doesn't work. And since when does it have to be government money? I mean, money is money. Silver is silver. Gold is gold. Litecoin is Litecoin. It's money on its own standing. It doesn't need to be sanctioned by any government, corrupt government. And in fact, when a government does sanction it, I start to look at them like, what's the real agenda? Because they're not looking out for your interest. They're just looking to get elected. They're paying millions of dollars for a job that doesn't even pay $1 million in the entire time that they're there. I mean, there's a reason why they want that position. It's the power. So why do you think they want to have sound money for you? They don't. Strong dollar policy. Strong dollar policy. Yeah, how strong is it since 1913? You've lost all your purchasing power. Lost it. And you're continuing to lose it every day. Every day you're losing it. I tell you, you better be looking at what's on sale. You better be looking at the ads and getting the things while they're on sale. Best investment right now, if the electric grid stands up, that'll be the next thing. They'll be taking that stuff down and starving people. But I guess until then, the best investment I think right now is a freezer. Buy a freaking freezer, get everything on sale, throw it in the freezer. I've looked at food dehydrators too. You know, I'm interested in that. I mean, it takes electricity to do it, but once you do it correctly, I mean, the stuff's good for like 20 years. So I'm kind of, is that freeze drying? Yeah, freeze drying. I was kind of looking at that. You know, that interests me. And, you know, I mean, obviously in canned goods, you know, need to preserve them. They're like pre-preserved. You know, you can everything, you put it on the shelf, and depending upon what it is, you get a couple years out of it, maybe longer. I mean, you don't need refrigeration. You don't need to freeze it. And you start thinking, okay, what's it going to take to do that? I'd love to can stuff. All right, you better start getting the jars. You better get the can, you know, the pan to can it in. You better have a source of fuel, you know, propane, you know, maybe not natural gas because it comes from the utility company. You might not have it. Natural gas, it's in a tank, you know. You want the 20-gallon tanks, you know, and fill it up. And have like a cooker. I mean, you got to start thinking this way because when you need it, it's not going to be there. I don't care if you got the money. It's not going to be there. And the money, if you're using this government-sponsored vampire casino money, it's not going to buy anything for you. $9 2x4. What a joke. I mean, this whole thing's a joke. It's a complete joke, but it's because the money's dying, and it is what it is. The money's dying. Understand that. And so use it for what you can while it still has some purchasing power left. I mean, we may get into this stagflationary, deflationary, death spiral, but I don't think so. The Fed just comes in and prints money, and that's all they do. And so they're going to realize, oh, the economy's slowing down. Oh, shoot, what are we going to do? Oh, the numbers look horrible. People are starving. Oh, and then they'll just start rampantly printing money and go into the hyperinflationary death spin that they planned forever. Won't be able to buy anything. So, I don't know. If it still has purchasing power, use it. Use it. Use it to buy stuff. It's not going to hold value. I mean, you might think you're going to scoop up a house real cheap. I'm going to keep cash on the sidelines and buy this house really cheap. And I mean, if they get desperate, let's keep raising taxes on that house. That's a liability at that point. I mean, unless it's to live in. But if you're looking at it as investment property, man, when you've got a government out of control, you don't know what's going to happen. I wouldn't want to have anything they can grab. I wouldn't want anything in my name. I mean, because they'll come get it. Or they'll tax you out of it. It's just, no. I'll take Litecoin. I'll take some silver. Yep. I want something in my possession. Something that, doesn't have my name on it. I don't know what it is. So, whatever. They're going to take everything they can. When they get desperate, that's what they're going to do. They're going to keep you noodling along and playing the game as long as they can until you realize it ain't worth playing anymore. The only way to win is to not play the game. Remember War Games? Was it like 1983 with Matthew Broderick? I think it was Ali Sheedy in there as his girlfriend. But it's, they're playing Whopper, the WOPR, the Whopper game. And it's just the global thermonuclear war, and they realize nobody wins, and the only way to win is to not play the game. That's it. You're not going to win. Nobody wins this game. Nobody wins this game. It just ends up being hell on earth. So quit playing the game. Figure out how to get out of the game. And once you're out of the game, at least you're getting things that you can survive with, things you're going to need, as opposed to, every week, oh my God, look at the price of this, look at the price of that. Oh, what am I going to do? And you just say, okay, what do I need? That's it. Do you need the vacation to Disney? Probably not a good idea. You needed the new car? Probably not a good idea at this point. I mean, what are you really going to need when this gets worse and worse? Because they're going to, obviously, has it gotten any better in the last 2 years? Seriously, do you think it's going to get any better? It's not. It's just not. Not with the current clown show that's in control. And that's what it is. It's a complete clown show. I mean, they're all just, look at them. Comic book Batman villain characters. It's just a joke. And they're just the puppets anyway. I mean, the real evil people are behind the scenes. You don't even know who they are. They're not on any Fortune 500 list or 100 list. And yeah, that's just the way it is. Those are the vampires. That's what they are. So realize that they're there and start figuring out ways to not give them your power, your energy, withdraw it, take it away. That's what you got to do. Look into Litecoin. Look into something you can hold in your own possession. Don't even look at it in dollar terms. That's their garbage. Look at it how many you can acquire. How many silver coins can you acquire in your possession that you hold? That's what you got to be looking at. I need more now than I had last week, right? More than now than I had last month. And I just have to, have something. You got to start looking at it that way. I don't care about the price. Because those dollars are just evaporating. $2 2x4 is now $9. A dozen eggs, 99 cents, $2.59. So it's not buying you anything. You're losing. So whatever price they say that's worth, who cares what they say it's worth? You know what it's worth when you have it in your own possession, and only so many people can have it because there's only so much to go around. In the example of Litecoin, there's 84 million. There's 330 million people just in the United States. There's 8 billion people in the world. How much is that for each person? A fraction of a Litecoin. Same with Bitcoin. Even less. You got to start thinking that way. How much silver is there in the world? You know, silver's been used as money for thousands of years, more than gold ever has. It betrayed Jesus on the cross, 30 shekels of silver. Actually, it has a lot of power, doesn't it? Got to start thinking that way. How many can I get? How many can I acquire? How many can I get with this rotting, dirty, vampire casino money that's just dying and deteriorating? I can still use it to get some? Cool. I'm exchanging it out right now. I get a little worked up about this stuff. You know, it's frustrating. You know, I just want people to wake up and realize, you know, that there are some ways to get out of the system because the system is dying. It just is. All right, come to a meetup. You see me rant. No, honestly, I love the meetups because I love to meet people. I love to give big hugs, know who you are, realize that, you know, you're not crazy. I'm not crazy. We get together, you know, if everybody says we're crazy and we're together talking, you know, about the same thing, how can we be crazy? But don't feel like you are crazy, because if you're talking to people about cryptocurrency, these things, freedom, sound money, a lot of people just don't get it. They just don't. And you don't want to beat yourself down and think, man, am I the only one that's, you know, should I just go along? And my family says that, you know, this stuff is crazy. Why am I getting involved in it? And, you know, but if you know in your gut, that's why you're struggling, because you know, and they just don't see it. Not everybody's going to see it. Not everybody's going to wake up. This isn't their life. This isn't their path. And you just accept that. It's like, I love you, but you just don't get it, and you're not going to wake up. I have to be around people who are awake. So you go to a meetup. You meet like-minded people. You build relationships. You have conversations. It actually nourishes your soul. You feel better about your, you know, why you're here on this planet. Okay, I do have a mission. I do have something that I have to offer. I'm finding other people I can connect with, and together we can be stronger. That is exactly what these meetups are for. June 17th, we're having one in Peoria, Illinois. Litecoin Lisa and I will be doing a live happy hour show on Friday, June 17th at 4 p.m. Central Time. Just like we do every Friday at 4 p.m. Central Time on YouTube. We're going to be streaming on YouTube and Twitter, doing it live, Peoria, Illinois, Peoria Pizza Works. Go to my website, clintwestwood.net, clintwestwood.net. It's in the link below, in the description, my website. Just go to that. It's got all the things I talk about, links to it. Other people, other channels that I believe in, things I believe in on my website. But it's also at the very top has a link to the Happy Hour Roadshow and where we're going to be, Litecoin Lisa and I. And June 17th is the next one coming up in Peoria, Illinois. It's free to attend. You know, just come hang out. I mean, we do have a VIP dinner later in the evening that it supports our channel. It supports what we do. It supports our whole mission to where we can go out and do it again. You know, and it's $250 a ticket. And there's like 10 tickets available. And so you get your dinner, you get drinks, you get to hang out with us. I mean, and just, you know, just have some good conversations. And it supports us. So, you know, consider that. But, you know, hey, I get it. You know, it's $250. Come to the meetup. It's free. You know, it's like we don't want to exclude anybody. Come to the meetup. It's free. Donations are appreciated. Litecoin, Digibyte, Dogecoin, any donations. Theta. So Bitcoin, be waiting a while on Bitcoin though sometimes, but just get to the meetup. It'll be a great time. You'll meet a lot of great people. It'll validate what you've always been thinking. If you think you need to be there, you need to be there. You got to trust yourself. You have to. It's very important. All right, check it out. clintwestwood.net. Link is in the description below. Love y'all. I do. I appreciate you spending time here, giving your energy to something. This ranting guy in the Midwest in a, 2004 Volkswagen Beetle today, not the 2000 over there. It's the new one. Digibug 2. All right, I thank you. Hope you have a wonderful Tuesday. Hit that thumbs up if you found anything of value. Share the video with somebody, if you think it'll wake them up. It's just, get them to the meetup. Get them to this meetup, June 17th in Peoria, Illinois. Get there and hang out with us. And if they have questions, we'll answer, you know, whatever crypto questions. I'll set them up with a wallet, teach them how to download it, write down the seed words. I got little cards. They can write it down. That way they secure their money. They're in their own possession. I will send them Litecoin. I send it free. I mean, that's just what I do. I want people to be, you know, understand the value of having something in their own possession. So get those people there. You know, bring a friend, and let's start changing things, you know, and waking people up one at a time. That's what it takes. You know, American Revolution, what do you have? Like 3% of the people, you know, that were for it and actually got engaged, if that. And it doesn't take a lot of people to change things. So, all right, I've rambled enough. Hope you have a wonderful Tuesday. Love you all. And above all, trust yourself. Trust your instincts. Go with your gut. All right. Have a wonderful day.